guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Tired Mama if you're new here, and maybe you'll stick around. I do cooking and weight loss and mom thoughts, and that's what today is about. Alright, so I got a call yesterday. I got a call from one of my kids' friends' moms. For a little bit of background information, I have a 14-year-old daughter. My daughter, our daughter, my husband and I's daughter, has an above average intelligence, and because of her giftedness, she has skipped a few grades in school. So she actually attends the 10th grade, but she's only 14. It means all of her friends are 2 years older than her. She is very, very mature for her age, and she's very responsible. We don't tend to have a lot of problems when it comes to behavior, school, boys, anything like that. But I want to talk about the kind of parenting we do and why it has worked so well for us. Now, the parent that called me felt the need to chastise me and tell me that I needed to stop being a helicopter parent because, you know, my child could handle it. And that my child could take care of herself. It was time to give her some wings. Now, this was all because the rule in our household is that our child doesn't get to ride in a car with anyone who's had a driver's license less than a year. Why? Because every single person, myself, my husband, and my 19-year-old son, all wrecked our first vehicles within the first year. Okay? This is a rule that we have had for years. One of her close friends that lives right next door does. She'll be able to ride with her in just a few weeks because she will have had her license a year. Okay? It's a rule. It's something that we put in place. And as her parents, we have that right to put that rule in place. Okay? Now, this parent really felt that she was doing something. And I'm making this video to you, sweetie. I appreciate your concern. But watch all the way through, and I hope that you will learn something, if nothing else, about me. Alright, so let's talk about a dog on a leash. Okay? When you walk a dog on a leash, which we walk our dog on a leash every single day, multiple times a day, there's a reason. Number one, it's a safety reason. They can't run off if they're on a leash, unless they take you with them. And if my little dog can take me, she's going to do something. Okay? Number two, no one can come by and pick her up and run off. Right? It's less likely that another dog is going to come get her because I'm right there to protect her. However, she has 10 foot of space that she's allowed to put between her and I, or her and my daughter, her and my husband, to get some roaming room. Right? And that's kind of like her little bubble. She gets roaming room. My husband and I do what is called leash parenting. Now, let me clearly say, I do not mean that my child is a dog. Okay? But it is a metaphor. Now, we allow our child enough room to roam. She gets to go hang out with her friends. She gets to go to lots of school activities. She has a lot of friends that she's close with. She goes to their houses. She goes out with them. You know, I'll take her to the movies to meet them. I'll take her to wherever that her friends are meeting. I don't necessarily feel I need to go in and supervise. But do I let my 14-year-old get into a vehicle full of teenage boys and leave? Hell no. Do I allow my 14-year-old daughter to get into a car with an 18-year-old boy and leave? Hell no. The only boy that my daughter gets to get into a vehicle and leave with is my son, because he's 19. She can go with her brother somewhere. I do not allow my daughter, okay, and I say allow, to have personal private time with these boys that are 16, 17, 18 years old, 19, 20. Why? She's 14. She doesn't need private time with boys that are older than her. Okay? Not just her and a boy. Hell no. And she definitely don't need to be in a car with 3 of them. Alright. So, she gets enough space to roam, but we're still there to protect her. She can't run off because I know where she's at. She can't be taken from me because I have this space around her. While she gets to roam, she's still in our bubble. Now, how do I do that and why do I do that? Number one, I do allow my 14-year-old to have a cell phone. Who pays the bill? Who has complete control over that phone? Who can check that phone? She has zero privacy on a phone that I pay for, on a phone that I bought. At any point in time, I will walk up to her and say, hey, where's your phone? And I can spend hours and search everything on that phone. Now, I will say that we've never, ever had a situation with her that was inappropriate on her behalf. Now, we did have a situation where this 17-year-old young man felt it appropriate to send him pictures of her in his underwear and offered to send her nude pics. Now, my daughter, being my precious child, came right in here and was like, Mom, Daddy, look at this. And we were able to deal with the situation. And let me tell you something. If you want to find somebody, all you got to do is find a mama who is concerned about their child, because this happened at like 9 o'clock. By 5 o'clock the next morning, I was on the phone with his mom as she was driving to work because I knew where she worked, what time she worked, who her supervisor was, and 3 people on her shift. Had she not answered her phone, I would have been at the gate of business she worked at when she got there. Okay. So she gets to have conversations. However, the conversations that she has with her friends should never, ever be anything that she wouldn't be willing to say in our house. There's multiple reasons for this. Number one, I don't care how private you make the internet, it can always be found. Okay? I mean by this, you don't put things on Facebook that you don't want a college admissions counselor seeing. You don't put things on Facebook that you don't want your parents to see. Your parents, in our situation, we give her, she really gets, she doesn't go without anything, and she gets a lot of what she wants. And she's not spoiled because she works for what she wants. My child has a job. She earns her own money. But we also have a say-so in what she's allowed to buy, because she's been given room to roam, but inside of our bubble. I don't deal with her teachers that much. I don't have to. Her grades, she just got a report card, and it's like 98, 99, 100, 100, 98. I don't have to worry about her grades. But leaving your child to roam free is dangerous. Okay? At 14 years old, at 3 years old, just this week, in the state of Alabama where I live, Camille Cupcake was kidnapped and murdered. She was kidnapped from her front yard where she had been left to play for the afternoon. She was unsupervised. This 7-year-old girl, unfortunately, I cannot remember her name at the moment, was kidnapped and found in a dumpster in, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina. Right? Like, something's not right with that. Something's not right when you leave children unsupervised, and we live in such a sick, sick world that there are stories coming out of girls being raped, babies being raped, teenagers being raped, kidnapped, murdered, sodomized. And people wonder why I won't leave my child to go get into a car of kids that I don't know and take off for the day. No, babe, that ain't working. Sorry, Charlie. Guys, if you have stuck with me this long, thank you so much. Maybe today was more of a rant. Just some thoughts that I felt like I needed to get out. I needed people to hear it. The world is such a negative place right now. My recommendation for you, if maybe you're struggling with your kid, remember to tell them they're doing things right sometimes. Right? Like, they need positive reinforcement too. You know, my daughter does amazing in most things, and we make sure to praise her and tell her how proud we are and tell her what a great job she's doing. And in return, she works harder than ever. So make sure that you don't just stay on your kid. You know, they're not always doing something wrong, because they do a lot of things right. Alright guys, rant's over for today. It is time for me to get back to work. Until next time, remember 3 things. Number 1, you are worth the time it takes to better your life or lose weight. Number 2, your life is worth the effort that it takes to better your life. Maybe that's lose weight, maybe it's finish a degree. And number 3, realize that you are loved. I hope to talk to you in the comments. Give me a big thumbs up. Bye.